just looked at DNA itself. What is it? What does it do? Go to YouTube and look at some videos that are called DNA replication, where you can see animations of how DNA replicates itself, how DNA is a building block, and then just ask them as a starting place, do we really believe that DNA is a manifestation of chance processes? And the honest person has to admit that it's a language. It's not a random scrambled alphabet soup that does inconsistent things over millions of years, as many would say. It's a building block of life that is, it's a language, and language is, to the honest seeker, demands an intelligence. You can't come up with language unless you have intelligence. We're not talking about the DNA letters and proteins being some random assemblance of things. You could take a bucket and fill it with mud and stir it for 4 billion years and add as anything you want, electricity, water, nutrients, chemicals, and you're not going to get DNA. DNA itself is a language. So that's the first conversation to have. And if people can admit or understand from that base building block that DNA is a language, and then the next step would be, of course, well, then it demands a designer, an intelligent designer who manifested that language, who's using it to create and populate life on Earth. And of course, I, as a creationist, I would need to go one step further and say, it's not some generic intelligent designer. It's the God of the Bible, Elohim, who's a creator, who created after what he said he did. He created over 6 days. He created the animals after their kinds. And at the capstone of his creation, he created Adam and Eve. He created mankind, and he gave them 2 things that are different than he gave to any other animal group. Number one, he commissioned Adam to name everything, including the apes, the ape kinds. We don't know what particular ape kinds were present there, but he put Adam over them, and he asked them to name them. So that's the second part, is the dominion mandate. He put Adam over everything. So we didn't evolve from ape-like creatures. We were put over them, and we named them. There's something to be said for naming something. I got to name my son because he was my issue. So there's something very significant about that. So Adam was over all of those things. Now, when you want to look at DNA itself and investigate the myth that humans and chimps share 99% of the DNA. So many people have heard that. Maybe it's been framed as a 98% similarity. To some people, it's 99%. But if you were to ask leading scientists today that don't believe in creation, don't believe in the Bible, they would admit that's not what they teach anymore. That's not the truth. That's a myth. No one in their right mind holds to the 98 or 99% idea anymore. They would admit that 99% came from cherry-picked data. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you take the human genome and stretch it out, it's about 3 billion base pairs. Well, the chimp genome is about 4% larger than the human genome. It has more letters in it. And if you were to take the human genome and just stretch it out with all the DNA letters, and then the chimp genome and stretch it out with all of its DNA letters, if you were to take just certain sections and segments and cherry pick certain sections and segments, you could get 100% similarity if you reduced it, if you threw out all the areas that were dissimilar. But what they did is they took the sections that they could align, and those were the areas that were 99 or 98 to 99% similar. So, but what did they have to do to do that, to come up with that 98 to 99% similarity? Well, they had to take 25%, so 1/4 of the human genome, and throw it out, and 18% of the chimp genome and throw it out. And if you discard 1/4 of our genome and roughly 1/5 of the chimp genome, well then, if you dive into the strings and letters and compare them, maybe now we can extract 98 to 99% similarity. But do you see what just happened? That's an incredible magic act to do that. In fact, a more honest comparisons, when you make a comparison between it now, would be in the low 80%. but we're also highly similar to many different animals, and including especially the mammals, the mammal kinds, because we have similar biochemistries and similar features that we need to live on this planet. So of course, the grand designer who created the DNA code, the programming language for life that goes from the DNA letters to the 16,000 genes or so that are coding what we look like today. It's that designer who used similar codes to build similar species. But the 99% idea is just a myth, and honest scientists today would tell you that.